Karin was born and raised around Stuttgart, Germany, and at the start of World War II, Karin was in kindergarten. Her memory of a particular experience during that time and her thoughts on where we are today speak for themselves.
And I wanted to share an influence with you that is unbelievable. In during that kindergarten time, to which we actually walked like 3 blocks by ourselves, at 3.5 or something like that, in that kindergarten, we were beautifully indoctrinated into Hitler stories. I'm serious. So the propaganda works really well. So when I came home, I was a very sickly, quote unquote, sickly child and a poor eater. And when I came home, my mother would have a meal ready for me. And I would say to her, no, I want a Hitler bread. My mother says, what's a Hitler bread? Well, a Hitler bread is a dry piece of bread and an apple. My mother said she just cried her heart out. So here later on, we didn't even have food anymore. So then there wasn't an argument. But while we still had food, I wanted Hitler bread. So we got that fed at kindergarten level. And what was the other thing? Oh, and to this day, when April 20th arrives, there is no way I can get through this day without thinking, Hitler's birthday. I know his birthday better than I know my parents' birthday or my own birthday. But what I'm trying to say is that's how insidious that stuff is. You know, they feed whatever you want to be fed when you're little. You have to be taught very, very little as a very, how is it in South Pacific? You have to be taught, you know, in order to end up having prejudices and opinions. And that's the age they feed it to you without any problems whatsoever.
Do you see something like that happening here now?
Oh, I definitely. I don't. I in definitely on a college level. I think there are higher education where certain philosophy is very much pushed versus another kind of a philosophy. And of course, at the moment, that is so noticeable. The whole world is, you know, split in two, so to speak. I don't know where that's going to go.
Does it seem different this time around where the world is?
Well, I tell you, at, at, at age 10, when the war ended, everybody in my family and the people I knew, I don't know about other people, we were hopeful that the world would be better, that this was the last war, that this was going to be, was going to work together. All the countries were going to sort of, you know, United Nations, all come together, all, no more borders. And then, of course, they've tried it in Europe. No more borders, one money, you know, all these things. And but it ends up, as you see now, it it wasn't really deep down. It was still surface, because as soon as something happens, this group wants to break off and that group wants to break off and that group says, I will not, no way uh, cooperate. You know, we only want it our way or the highway. It's in 45, there was such hope. And I don't know that we have this hope now. I hear some of the old people tell me here that they only see hope when they look at the very young, but they don't, you know, in other words, drop 60 years and go with the very young, you know, but that doesn't work either. So,
Well, do you have hope?
I, I don't know. Unfortunately, I'm a realist, and I think the human nature is such that we don't learn too much. We keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again as human beings, you know. Individuals can rise and do wonderful things, but as a group, we're not learning that much.